guys are probably maybe seeing my sister's videos, but I'm using my sister's account. I'm not using the account where I have to do with her.
Imagine being halfway across the country at 13 years old, alone. Imagine being halfway across the country at 13 years old, alone, with only your little sister and a grandparent you barely know.
Hope you like the video.
What you do know is you just accidentally found a crap load of CP. And the man who holds it, your own grandfather, is your only way home.
You may have seen some comments in the past calling out my absolute honker ears. Hell, this one's even deformed. But even with my big deformed ears, you know what fits better than anything? What fits wonderfully? Raycon Everyday Ergonomic Earbuds fit like an absolute beat. What to? Because they have 32-hour guarantee. For the dramatic intro, I wasn't exactly sure how to start off a video like this. But hey, as I near 1 million subscribers, I figure what better time to make an OMMA origin story video than, well, now. I mean, it's not like there's ever exactly a good time to make a video about your grandfather being a serial predator, but hey, this is probably the closest it'll be to a good time. I grew up never really knowing my dad. He beat the piss out of me pretty badly when I was a baby, so I hear. My mom was actually told that I was never even going to be able to walk, and I would likely be paralyzed. I grew up pretty religiously as well for the first 10 years or so of my life, going to church pretty much almost every Sunday. You know, God teaches you to love your family. So, when eventually my grandparents reached out to my mom wanting to be in our lives, she was somewhat accepting. Like I said, I never knew my dad, and he was never in my life. But his parents wanted to be in mine despite what he had done. Initially, my mom didn't really want anything to do with them. But after a few years and, being a struggling single mother, he eventually allowed them to send us things through our church. I was about 6, this went on for probably a few years, and my mom had finally decided that they had won her over enough to allow them to meet us. Us being me and my little sister, who is 1 year younger than me. Met them at Chuck E. Cheese, and honestly, I remember it being a blast. I mean, what kid isn't gonna have fun at Chuck E. Cheese? But we got to know them, learned a lot about them, and we learned that my grandfather was actually a pastor, an active youth pastor at a children's ministry in North Carolina. Of course, my mom liked that and, green flags, so they began to come around more. Not much because they were from North Carolina, but of course,
Oh, howdy, Mom. I hear you're the best mom in the world.
my mom liked that and, green flags, so they began to come around more. Not much because they were from North Carolina, but about once or twice a year we would see them. Typically we'd only really see them if they were like in town for some church reasons or occasionally family reasons, but this arrangement went on for about 7 or 8 years until I was 13 and my sister was about 12. I think I was in 8th grade at the time, and we had concocted this amazing amazing idea to spend our spring break over in North Carolina with our grandparents. Really get to know them. Honestly, overall, it was a pretty dope vacation. We saw mountains, I saw oceans, we ate great food. It was great all besides for a few red flags that at the time seemed minor, but now, I look at it a little bit. It was mostly minuscule, but there's one instance in particular that my mom was particularly concerned about, even at the time. There was one instance where I mildly upset my grandfather, and he kind of flipped a switch and turned into a whole new human being for a little while. It's kind of scary. Basically, there was this girl that I knew we were going to be meeting for some reason or another. I think she was like a step relative on my grandma's side or something along those lines. I'm not sure, but I knew I wasn't related to her, and I knew we were meeting her. And of course, I thought she was cute, so I did what any boy would do at the time. No gain. I sent her a Facebook friend request and added her there. I don't know if I thought I would lay out the charm with my Instagram posts before I met her, but I added her for some reason. Anyways, my grandpa, as old people do, took tons of pictures of his trip and posted them on Facebook. However, there was one particularly bad photo of me that he had posted where I just really didn't like the way I looked. It was an unflattering picture of me, to say the least. I could probably find it, but I knew he had his girl friended and I had her friended, and I didn't want her to see that. I just really didn't like the way I looked. It was an unflattering picture of me, to say the least. I could probably find it, but I knew he had his girlfriend. I had her friended, and I didn't want her to see that. I was embarrassed. I'm a young boy in a changing body, and a girl that I knew I was meeting and thought was cute could see this ugly picture of me, so I simply asked him to delete it because I was embarrassed by it. I think a reasonable request for an insecure little boy, but not to him apparently. He basically just got super pissy about it, going fine, I guess I'll never get pictures of you again. Guess I don't need pictures of my own grandchildren. Kind of being a baby about it. But eventually he got over it and we went about our vacation up until the last night there. I've been making videos for a long time. Pretty much since I was 5 years old, I've been trying to create content on the internet, and as such, I've become very familiar with the internet and technology at a young age, including internet culture. We'll see why this is important in a minute. It was our final day in North Carolina, and we had just gotten back to my grandparents' house from the other place we were staying at for a few days. We had our flight back home the next morning pretty early, and we had yet to print our tickets, so my grandfather gave me his phone to do so. I did so without issue, and we got our tickets printed to go home. However, on phones how you can swipe up or hit a button and see all of your open apps that are running in the background, and you can swipe up or down to close them. Well, I've always had a habit of doing that, and so without even thinking, I did so on my grandfather's phone, just out of habit. I was habitually swiping up fast, and so I closed it quick, but I realized I closed an app that had caught my eye in particular, an app that I thought it to be interesting that my grandpa even had on his phone. I'll give you a few seconds to take a guess as to what app could be so alarming. The app was Kik Messenger. If you know anything about Kik Messenger or its history,
isn't it funny how I didn't even know this app even existed until I tuned with CC Kik. And I was scared what that means. I didn't even know it existed. I think I have a piece of fetish. Some bullhead shit.
then I'm sure you'll know why this piqued my interest pretty quickly. See, even being 13 at the time, I knew way more than I should have about the internet. So I knew about Kick. Kick for a long
That's just kind of funny, but you see, it's like the second car.
time had been, and still unfortunately is to this day, a clusterfuck of an app, known for being the go-to messaging service for child predators.
On Kit, users share messages, photos, and videos. You don't have to be friends to connect. Anyone can contact anyone, anonymously. Kik is one of the most popular apps that works this way. And that's the problem, according to police.
I didn't assume anything this time, and less alarm bells rang in my head than probably should have, but it was enough to pique my interest, at least a little bit. I mean, come on, maybe Grandpa was in some church group chats. We went about the night as normally as we could, but I decided in my head that when everyone had fell asleep, I was gonna sneak my Grandpa's phone and have a look-see as to what he was up to on Kik. Who knows, maybe it really just was a nice church group chat, and it was my cue to find God again. It was not. For about 3 hours, I just sat on my phone, waiting for my opportunity. About 1 a.m., everyone had fallen asleep for a little while. My grandpa had foolishly left his phone out on the table. He also, foolishly, didn't have a password on it. I managed to sneakily grab his phone and then lock myself in the bathroom to begin checking it out. I remember seeing his profile first. It was a picture of him in a tie-dye shirt. He went under the name Horny Artist. Needless to say, there were no church group chats, and honestly, there was no real good explanation for why he had Kik. Unless you count having terabytes of CP as a good explanation. I wouldn't. I don't think I need to go into detail with what I saw, but just know I saw pretty much probably the worst stuff that I probably could have seen. I began scrolling through, and there was probably about 50 different individuals my grandfather was trading this nasty stuff with. One of the main people he would converse with on this app was someone named Kat. He had also shared images of my sister with her, as well as pictures of the other step-granddaughter that we had met earlier on this trip. It was all normal pictures, but he just mentioned that we were visiting, and this other granddaughter would be staying with him for a week later that same summer. Now honestly, I wasn't really sure what to do, and I mean, I don't think any 13-year-old would. I didn't want to really record what was on his phone because I didn't want to have CP on my own phone and get in trouble. I made sure to memorize his username and diligently studied his conversation with this cat person. Funny enough, this is how I actually knew how to catch predators on Omegle, is because this cat girl at this time told my grandfather that she uses Omegle to find other predators and kids. Anyways, I concocted a plan. We ended up leaving the next day and made it home safely. Right when we got back home, I got right to work. When I got back home, I made a fake Kik profile, pretending to be a 26-year-old girl. And yes, my plan was I was basically acting like a fellow predator, 13 years old. I reached out to him telling him I was a friend of this cat girl, and we got to talking. Hey, my friend Kit told me about you. Who? Cat? And? Just Cat. Then he immediately sends a penis picture. No words.
How do I keep location? How do I measure it? So like this side. So what am I looking at?
Just straight dick. You married? I asked.
The girl even know this is his grandson. He just randomly sent a pic to just a random someone who thought it was random. Send it off like that. That's maybe like scared. Also, fucking take a pic and blackmail you and shit.
At this point, I could gauge he was a sick and enjoyed being a sick fuck, so I knew he probably wouldn't have an issue admitting this. To be honest, yes. You? No, 26. I have a boyfriend though. I mean, this right here, my age was really showing. I said that like a 26-year-old wouldn't be married. That's unreasonable. Like, oh no. It's an open relationship. He doesn't care what I do. Does your wife know? Heck no. Better not get caught. Kissing emoji. I want to suck a dick. try. Do you have anyone whose dick you can suck? LOL. Tried mine. I'm just short, LOL. You could always meet with someone. He sends another picture of his pee-pee. What did Kat say? I asked if she knew any hot guys who will send pics, and she gave me you. He then sent me a picture of him holding his wiener with it. His face in it. Better yet, it also said camera right underneath the image.
This is what he's not doing. He's looking at retirement money, bro. What's the point of you when you went? Okay, it's just like that where it's taken every single time they get such a point. Oh, they can get every girl they want. He decides to go for it. Now, after any type of flavor, it's like dipping your hand in chocolate, eating vanilla every single day. And just pop to mango ice cream, or some other shit.
Image, which on Kick means that was taken alive. Right then, in that moment, while we were texting. Where's your wife? At work. Sneaky. Do you have a friend you can suck off? I think my mindset here was I was just trying to see if you had mentioned anyone that I might have known, or me, or my sister or something. I don't know. Not yet. So I pressed some harder, or son, depending on your relationship. I know some people would do stuff with their kids or grandkids. And then unfortunately, I got the response I was looking for. I would. With who? Granddaughter.
Incest. It's kinda incest.
Oh, how old are they? 12. How often do you see them? Then his response to that was a picture of my sister just sitting at the beach in her bathing suit. That was a safe for work image. It was like a Facebook image you would find on like a mom's Facebook. But obviously it's pretty disturbing to have seen it being sent around that way. I was honestly speechless, so I just responded with I'll send a pic later. He then sent another picture of one of his other step-granddaughters, the one that we had met previously on this trip, who was also around our age. You know, now that I think about it, me and Grandpa were eyeing the same girl, which was not cool, dude. When did you see them last? They taste good, too. Spent weeks.
It's just what I'm saying. Is he want to taste some extra flavor, some more, they want more nutrient. It's like eating an apple. That would be, you can never say whatever I forgot what I said. An apple a day gets, an apple a day. Makes you never go to the doctor again.
Week with first pick, second pick coming for a week. And you didn't.
Wait. So he basically touched his sister. Basically touched his sister. That's basically what he's saying.
Spent a week with first pick.
They should call the police on that. No, what the hell happened? What the hell happened?
Tigers.
Messenger or its history. Week later that same summer. Now, honestly, I wasn't really sure what to do, and I mean, I don't think any 13-year-old response I was looking for. I it being sent around that way. I was honestly speechless, so I just responded with I'll send a pic on like in her bathing suit. Next to that was a picture of my sister just sitting at the beach in her bathing suit. That was a safe for work image. It was like a Facebook image you would find on like a mom's Facebook. But obviously it's pretty disturbing to have seen it being sent around that way. I was honestly speechless, so I just responded with I'll send it.
He has the question his sister now. He used to ask the questions if he did anything to her. And if he did, should go catch him. He should go to jail. No, obviously go to jail. Go beat his ass. I don't condone violence. Case, let's go beat his ass. You know,
the pic later. He then sent another picture of one of his other step-granddaughters, the one that we had met previously on this trip, who was also around our age. You know, now that I think about it, me and Grandpa were eyeing the same girl, which was not cool, dude. When did you see them last? Bet they taste good, too. Spent a week with first pick, second pick coming for a week. And you didn't try anything? And he just responded with, her brother in the pool too. Rubbing your kitty? Yeah, I am. Nah, see. And I guess I just never seen a vagina. In my life, or knew how they worked, or probably even talked to a woman at this point in my life, because for some reason my response to, yeah, I'm playing with my kitty, can you see, my response was, send a pic when I'm not around people. Who's there? I'm in a car with my friends and mom. I guess the girl I was pretending to be was a freak. I really don't know how he didn't get skeptical at this point, but hey, I wasn't a professional at this time yet, okay? I was 13. Send another pee-pee picture. Play with cat? Not yet. Just started this account yesterday. Send you one of her sucking me when I see your pics. I'll... Just started this account yesterday. Send you one of her sucking me when I see your pics. I love young. Okay, I'll trade. He sent 2 more pee-pee pictures and an image of a girl, clearly not 18. At this point, I just decided to leave our conversation alone, as I had pretty much got all that I felt that I needed from him, and he had pretty heavily incriminated himself already at this point. So, naturally, I felt like I had seen enough of Grandpa for the day, and I just left him alone. Now before I even went to the police or even told my own mom, I wanted to make people around him aware, so I messaged the mother of the other granddaughter. Excuse me, but do you have a moment to spare? Could involve your daughter. Yes? Now honestly, I didn't think she would take me seriously because I was a literal kid myself at the time, so I lied to her a little bit. I'm an online vigilante who catches pedophiles and stops them before they do anything to harm anyone. Unfortunately, I have hard evidence of Tom Kinsley saying and sending very illegal things. I would keep your daughter away from him as well. And might I say that message was June 9th of 2017. And what a crazy foreshadow, because here I am 8 years later. This was basically my destiny, you know? Basically, I created a fake profile pretending to be a 26-year-old girl to get proof of him admitting to things he wants to do to your daughter, his other granddaughter, and other kids. And inevitably, this got the ball rolling. And he then pretty swiftly underwent FBI investigation and was arrested and charged with indecent liberties with a minor, as well as 5 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Unfortunately, he bitched out like the coward we all know these child predators are, and on June 17th, 2017, took his own life in his jail cell. Hopefully, child predators are, and on June 17th, 2017, took his own life in his jail cell. Hopefully this gives you all some more insight in regards to why I do what I do and the content style that I make. Views and shit are obviously cool and all, but this style of content has always had a deeper and more personal meaning to it. Thank you guys so much for 1 million. That's literally my childhood dream, and I hope you guys continue to support me in the future. We have a lot of crazy videos coming up.